Hey, hi everyone, and welcome to the introductory workshop on building your first app in an hour. In this workshop, I will be teaching you how to use Software and Airtable. This is the worksheet that we'll be using throughout the duration of this session. In order to get this, simply open your main event page, which is bit.ly/ncw3-welcome. That is there with you on Luma and a bunch of other places. All the links that you need for this session, for this NoCode Weekend 3 will be here. All the upcoming sessions will be mentioned here along with the links to join. So if you clicked here, you would have joined this Zoom session. If you click here, you will get the worksheet link. So this link to the worksheet has been sent on the chat on this Zoom as well. When you click this worksheet link, this is what will open. Okay, this is how to get to this place. We'll be using this for the rest of the session. Please note that this is a co-building session, which means that you will be building this along with me. So make sure that all of these windows are open on your computer. You can't be attending this on your phone. You should be attending this on your laptop or computer and follow these steps with me. So a heads up for you is all the projects that are being built this weekend in public are featured here. All you have to do is click here to tweet or use NoCode Weekend or tag us at NoCode Weekend in order to be featured, right? So let's begin this session. What you need to do first is sign up for a software account. The link to that is in step number 1 in the pre-workshop preparation. Step 1 has a link to software. Please make sure that you're signed up on that. The second thing you need to do is go to step number 3 and click here to sign up on Airtable. And then open this Airtable base once you're signed up on Airtable using step number 3. Okay. Open this worksheet. Saiti, could you please drop the link to this worksheet in the chat again for those of them who just come. If you're watching the recording, then the link to the worksheet is on this main website as well. Great. So as I mentioned, we're going to build and launch a software app. Click here to create a software link. Click on step number 3 to create an Airtable account. And then we're going to use this Airtable base. I'll teach you exactly what Airtable bases are in just a minute. Before that, I wanted you to see exactly what we're going to build today. So as you scroll down, there's this aspect of what we're creating, the section called what we're creating. This is the app that we'll be creating today. This is a software app. We're just going to call it Go Green, where we're going to display all the green brands that have taken an oath to be sustainable and launch sustainable products. A little bit about, the brief about this app has been given here. It's a directory of all these brands which have taken a pledge to be eco-friendly and puts this sustainability first in their business plan so that you can make it easy for your customers to see which brands they can rely on and shop from. Okay, you don't have to so your customers will not have to download anything. It will work on all phones. It will also work on desktop as well. If you actually click here, you'll also be taken to the Canva link for the logos. I've already created the logos for you. So you don't really have to create a separate logo for this app. Of course, the other way of doing it is just go to this app, right click this or right click this and click on save image to downloads. You can download the images that way as well. Okay, so all the information that you need to create this app have been given to you here. So we're going to try to replicate this. In 1 hour, what we're going to do is we're going to set up the database. Next, we're going to map the database in order to connect it to software. Then, of course, we're going to design the minimum viable brand, which is to say that we will have the fonts and typography, the colors, that kind of stuff. We already have the logo, so it saves us a bunch of time. And finally, we're going to publish and distribute. This 5th step that we'll not be able to cover today is including a form that updates the app directly. It's actually fairly simple. We have tutorials on this for software anyway. You can check that out later after this workshop. So hope you're done following step 3 and step 4, and of course having a software account. If you click on step number 4 after you've signed up on Airtable, when you click this is what is going to open for you. Okay, this is what is going to open for you. In the first instance, it looks just like a Google Sheet, doesn't it? It has columns, it has rows, it has some data inside, and let me tell you, this is basically a database. What you find on Google Sheets, they're called spreadsheets. Spreadsheets are basically disjunct cells that you find on Google Sheets. But one second. Yes, I think you can go ahead and do that. So as long as you have specific types of data that are accepted in the columns here, that makes it a database. So in Google Sheets, if you remember, you can click on any cell and add any kind of data. It will not stop you from doing it. But on this sheet, you can see that here there's text, here there's long text, here there's only pictures that are accepted, here there's only links that are accepted, here there's only multiple select options that are accepted. So immediately you know that this is a database. So that's the difference between a database and a spreadsheet, in case you're wondering how is Airtable different from Google Sheet. Immediately you know that this is much more powerful, because if you can categorize all of this data in this way when you are inputting it itself, and of course there's so much that is possible. Now on the top right of this Airtable, there's an option called copy base. You're going to click on that. Make sure that you're signed up on Airtable using this before you do that. So make sure you do step 3 before step 4. Okay, this is the template. We've copied it. When you click on copy base on that top right, what it will say is which workspace do you want to add it to. If you're brand new to Airtable, of course you will not have all of this stuff. I have way too many bases, as you can see. There's no problem. Just choose, I think it will say your personal workspace, your namespace workspace. Click on that, just say add base. That's completely fine. Doesn't matter at this stage where you're adding it. You just have to remember where it is so that you can connect it later. So in this case, it's at Vensy Sandbox. In Vensy Sandbox, it says Go Green App Template, which is new. So you know that this is the one that you have used, right? So now when you have created this, the best part about what we're doing right now is the whole template has been designed for you. You do not need to copy anything. You do not need to add any data. You do not need to modify anything. So you have this template with you on your Airtable base, and it's called Go Green App Template. Let's rename it. We'll say Go Green App for Software. Okay, just so that it's clear as to what this database is supposed to do. Let's take a look at what this Airtable base is doing before we go to software. But before that, let me tell you, after you sign up for software, this might be whole blank, but they are giving you a compulsory survey of sorts that you need to finish before you can get to this. So if you're on that survey, take a minute to finish it. We'll take that minute. I'll just show you what data is here. So because this app is about the brands that your customers can go to. So basically, let's say that you're a blog, you're a sustainability blogger, and all of your readers and audience are saying, hey, we're convinced we want to move to a sustainable life. But what kind of brands can we shop from that offer eco-friendly products that we can trust? We trust you, so we need you to tell us which brands we can shop from. So you decide, oh, you know what, let me create an app for this so that anytime anyone wants to know where they can shop from, this will be this one-step solution for them to go to, right? For that app to be created, forget about software, forget about the model app for now here, forget about all of that. Let's just think about what kind of data you will need in order to create this app for your audience, right? The people who need this information. Number one, you need the name of the brand. That is the brand that you're saying, please shop from there. Ideally, you should give them a description because they might not know what this brand is about. So maybe there's a brand called Tree Card Fabrics and a little bit of information about what Tree Card Fabrics actually does. It uses eco-friendly material and creates fabrics. The other thing you can do is give a logo such as this. This is the link. This is the image of Tree Card Fabric. And then, of course, you need the website link because that is the link they can shop from, the website to Tree Card Fabrics. That is the website we're redirecting them. And then you also want to categorize some of this data because if it was only 2 or 3 links, it's fine. But most likely you're going to have hundreds of brands here listed as sustainability alternatives, right? So if you do have so many of them, it's better for all of them to be categorized as some because some of them are going to be fabrics, some of them are going to be home products and food and everything. So because of this, it's very important for you to have categories. You could also have another column called subcategories. Maybe within home products, you can have oral hygiene, feminine hygiene, etc. But for now, this is the basic data that you need to start with. Of course, you can go and add more columns and you can add more data in the form of rows. Okay? So I just wanted to give you an understanding of what this app is doing, what exactly you're looking at. This is the data. This is the lowest common data that you will need in order to create this app. Great. Now, I hope that you've opened Software and finished that annoying survey that they have. I wish they had a way to switch that off, but we don't. So now what you're going to do is when you're on Software, of course, you're not going to have all of these applications if you've just signed up. All you have to do is click on New Application here. Now, with this button, what opens is a pop-up that says Start with a template. We will start with a template because it makes our life really easy. Let me see if there's any questions so far. All right, no questions. If I'm going too fast, please let me know. When you go and click on New Application, this is the pop-up that opens. Actually speaking, the template that we want is right here. If you're not sure about this, you could just go to Internal Tools, go down, and the employee directory is right here. If you preview it, it will show you exactly what it is about. But you could just click on Use Template in order to start using it straight away. Now it's going to say, hey, I'm going to create this app for you, but I need data from some source. Where can I get this data from? Is it going to be Airtable? Is it going to be Google Sheets? Is it going to be a REST API? We don't care about Google Sheets, REST API, Postgres, none of that stuff, because we already have an Airtable base and it's already checked by default. So we're going to say continue. Now it's going to say, okay, I'm going to get this data from Airtable, but first you need to connect your Software account to your Airtable account because they are 2 separate apps, right? Airtable is a very different app run by a completely different team. Software is a different app with different goals with a different team. So when there are 2 different apps, you still want to connect them for them to take data from each other and read and modify data from each other. What you need is something called an API, Application Programming Interface. APIs are really famous. Just to give you a sense of what it is, it just enables you to connect one app, in this case Software, with Airtable. Otherwise, they are 2 completely different companies, right? Why will they be able to read data from your Airtable base? You have to connect it first. So in order for this API to be connected, the simple way to do that is click here. Instead of clicking on this link Airtable account page, the other way of doing it is while we're on the Airtable base, on the top, you have this account. Click on account, right? Click on your face here, click on account. So both of that does the same thing. It just opens this. Now on this, you can go down on this page, you can go down And this purple box that you're seeing here, this is the API key that software is asking us for. This purple box, click on it once. It will open the key, right click it, copy, or just Control C, Command C, depending on where you are. Go back to software and paste it here. Doing it again, click on Airtable account page. This will open up. Go down, this purple box here. Just copy paste this key here. Okay. Now, because you've seen my key, I'm going to regenerate the API key later. So that's one thing you should do, is keep regenerating your API key so that people can't copy it. Next, you're going to click on connect to Airtable. Now, because the key has been given, it's sort of a password for software to read data from your Airtable. It says, hey, I have access to your Airtable. Here's a template that you can copy. So software has actually created an Airtable base for this template that we've created. However, we already have a base here, remember? So in order for this to be chosen, we'll just click here to refresh. Just click on copy template base so that software is happy, so that this becomes available. Until you click on copy template base, this doesn't become available. After that, you can click on refresh if you want, and then select base. Now select base, if you remember, we called it something like Go Green app for software. That's the reason why we need to be very careful while naming the Airtable base, because there might be so many bases later in your journey that you might be confused as to what base you're using. So we're going to click on Go Green app for software, because that's exactly what it's called. Go Green app for software. That's the name we've given it. Then we're going to say connect to Airtable. And that is it. Okay. Right now, what you have is a beautiful template with the data that is being powered from here. All right. So now what we've done is we've created a software account. We've created an Airtable account. We've duplicated data from an Airtable base because I wanted to save you some time. You would have created this whole thing on your own as well. I highly suggest you do that after this workshop for your use case. Then finally, what we've done is we've connected the software template, because this is what we wanted. Looks green and has plants on it. That's the reason why we chose this template. And we've connected it with this database. Right now, it looks empty. It says something went wrong and everything is blank. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to change this template to look like this. Okay. That is the crux of the rest of the workshop. Any questions so far, please let me know. Is it compulsory to build an app? Can we even make a website? It's really up to you. It should be a no-code project this weekend. As long as it's a no-code project, it works. Software is used for making websites as well. What I'm showing you is how to make an app with software, how to make a software app. But you can just make a website that only has a front end. That's completely fine. So let's explore this app for a minute. What does it say? First, it has a logo here, which is great. Like I said, you can right click this and save image to downloads in order to use that logo for later. Next, it has a title that says green brands. Of course, that's what all of these brands are. They're green. We have a search bar where we can search for something. Let's say we want to search for meat related products. You can say meat, and then, well, it's not updated right now, but it's supposed to open up results related to meat. Next, you can also see some categories here. And something else that you can do is log in with some details. If you sign in with those details, a few more things are available to you, such as on the top, it now says submit a brand. If you're a user, you get to submit a brand to this list. So for example, when you click on submit a brand, it actually redirects you to this form. If you submit a brand name and all of this, it gets added to the all brands directory here. Again, if you go back and click on your username and sign out, then you can see that the header has changed to sign in to submit. Okay, just to give you a sense of what it is. And the final thing I want to show you is what exactly is happening with this database. So I'm a customer and I'm like, oh, you know what? I want to shop for fabrics and I want to shop for tree card fabrics. Have information here. I know it's a fabrics related category and I want to shop from them. So I can click on visit site here. So again, let's see beyond meat. Again, I want some, I want an app related to meat, or I want a product that's related to sustainable meat alternatives. I can just click on visit site. And when I click on visit site, it is taking me to the website of this brand. So the interesting part is all of this information is coming from this table. So the tree card fabrics name is coming from here, the description coming from here, images coming from here. When you click on visit site, that link is being pulled from here. The categories is being pulled from here, right? So when you add new brands, it's going to be exactly the same. It's going to add one more box here, just like this. It's going to take information such as image from that column, name from the first column, description from the second column, category from the last column, and visit site from the website. So I hope you're understanding the structure of how the data works. Let me see if there's any questions. Showing template, but it did not connect to Go Green template. You have to go and connect the API as I showed you on Airtable. Then click on Go Green app for software in the list of the Airtable bases that are available. Then it will get connected. If not, you can do it later as well. So take a look at this builder now. We're going to get started. First, you can see immediately there are two headers. The first one, when you click on the topmost one, it's saying hashtag home_header3. When you click on the second one, it's saying same thing, hashtag home_header3. If you actually click on this I, visibility settings, it actually has different settings here. Now, the reason why there are two headers that might have become a little obvious to you already is that software, when we're building this, there are two headers that we're creating, but we're making each of them visible depending on who the user is. If the user is a new user, then we see this header, which is this one. The first one says sign in. If the user has signed in, then we're showing the second header. In this case, it's saying submit a brand, right? So it changes, the header changes depending on whether you're signed in or not. So the simple way in which software allows you to do it is by toggling what is called visibility settings. So when should this header be visible or invisible, and when should this header be visible or invisible? So that's a little complicated. That's probably intermediate. Let's start. Let's begin with the directory itself. Okay. The main thing about this app is what? All the data that you're seeing here. That is the main part of the app. That's like 50% of the app. So let's start there. I'll talk a little bit about the header in just a minute. So this is where the data is supposed to pop up. And you can see that it's saying no results found. And it's basically saying unable to fetch Airtable data and all of that. So first what we have to do is we have to connect it. Let's click on this. And now it is asking you, first of all, it's saying there's a new version of this block. Let's just update that block and it refreshes on its own. Great, that's gone now. That's out of our visibility. That's good. The second thing it's saying is that, okay, I want to get the data from Airtable. And I know that you want me to get the database from this Airtable base called Go Green app for software. We just connected it in the beginning step, right? The second thing that it needs to know is, just like Google Sheets, you know how Google Sheets has tabs on the bottom depending on what sheet it is? Like that, you have different tables within an Airtable. So table 1 here is the data. Table 2 is called users. It's blank right now, but table 1 is where we want the data from. So we have to go and say, yes, it's Go Green app for software. Within this database, I want table number 1. Now it's like, okay, fine. I get some data and I know that there's some rows and columns there, and it is no longer empty. Now what you need to do is step 3 in the worksheet that I was telling you about. So we've cleaned up the data, set up the spreadsheet, that's done. The second step is to map each of this data to the rows that are there on the Airtable base. We know that there's a picture. We know there's a name of the brand. There's a description. So that's what we're going to do. My computer seems to be a little slow. Excuse that. Again, within Airtable databases, the thing that you might not be familiar with, because it doesn't really exist in any straightforward form on Google Sheets, is called views here. Okay, you know how tables are different. There's table 1 and table 2 and table 3 and so on, users and everything here. Unlike different tables, within the same table, you can create views to show specific kinds of data on the left. It's the same table, but the data is organized in a different manner. That is what a view is. Right now, we only have one view called grid view, so that's completely fine. So it's saying, should I select a default view? You can just go ahead and click on grid view. That's completely fine. And it's also asking, do you want me to sort by anything? Do you want to take the brand name and sort it from A to Z, or maybe descending order Z to A and so on? You can do that if you want, but I'm fine with this existing sort. It's fine. Really depends on what you want to do for your app. And then it's also saying how many images, how many data points should I show on a page? Right now it's showing 6. You can show more if you want. And per row, do you want 3 or do you want more? 3 is fine for now. Now it's asking, should I have any conditional filters? Should I only show brands that are selected for maybe cosmetics? That's fine. We don't want any conditional filters right now. Okay. Now we get to mapping the data that I was telling you about. So let's see what this data is. If on the top left, you can see on the left, you can see under the search bar, you can see filter by office and filter by tags. So the label here is saying filter by office. I'm going to change it to filter by categories. So now it's saying, okay, so what should I filter by? Now here I'm going to click on category. Under categories, we already have so many categories here, right? So we have, if you double click this column, you can see all the categories here. So those categories will be uploaded here for the data points that categories are selected for. So these are the options that are available. And it's saying, where should I put these categories? Should I put it on the left where it is right now? Should it be on the top like this? Or should it be on the right? Top is fine. Should it be shown as a list or should it be shown as a drop down? If it's a drop down, then you can see it's on the right of the search bar, filtered by categories. List is fine. Should we allow people to multi-select? So should they be able to select transport and electric, or only transport or electric? So if you want and possibilities, then you click on allow multi-select. I'm going to delete this. If there were subcategories, we could have this tag again. For now, let's just keep it simple. On the right, you have the small cross. Click on that and it will be deleted. Now see, look, it looks so much better already. Now the last step is, so before we go to the last step, this search bar categorization and setting up we can do as well. So it's asking, should I show a search bar? Sure, you can show a search bar, and search by what field? You can search by maybe description. Description usually has more words like meat, produce, organic, and stuff like that. So it's more likely for this stuff to come up. So we'll choose description here. Now is the last step where you're going to pull in all the data from software. It's asking, I have all of this data that's being displayed on this table. Where should I get this data from? Where should I get my image from? Click on it. And then it's going to ask you to select the name of the column that you are seeing here on the database. You've already connected the database. So all you have to do is select the field. On the field, there is a column, a property called picture. You click on picture, it will start to pull data from that picture column. Amazing. Next, we have heading 1. And it's saying, okay, I have a heading 1 here that just says heading 1. Where should the content be from? Select that field and say, I wanted to show the brand name. So all the data in the brand name column will now be displayed against that picture. Similarly, we have some text here. That text, we can change it to description. So right under the name of the website, we also have a short description. And then we also have more text here, right? That text, we can change it. Let's see if we can. Okay, so right now it's off. If we switch it on, you have more that has come up here, single line short text on the left. Let's switch it off. We don't need this, but we still have this showing up with this last line called single line short text. So let's change that to something called tag. Okay, we're going to change it to tag, and we are going to call the label, instead of label here, we're going to call it category. So whatever category we've tagged it under will follow. Now, what content should come under this category? We already have a category property. So we're going to say select field and select category there. And so now you have category fabrics, category packaging, category home products, and so on. So that is exactly how you set this up. Now, the other thing we still want to have here is we're going to click on an add field, and we're going to add, instead of a tag, we're going to add a button. So go down, go down, go down. We'll find a button. You can see a button has popped up here. Instead of a button label as text, we're going to say visit site. So when they click on visit site, they're actually redirected to the website that they need to go to. So when they click on this button, what action should happen is what the third line of this menu is. It's saying select action. And do you want to open a page? If you open a page, it opens a page within this software website that you're creating. For example, you have a home page, about page, and everything on a website like that. If you have more pages, click on this. So these are all the pages that this template is giving you. You don't want to open a static page. What you want this button to do is you want this button to read the data from this column and go to the respective website. So we're going to say open an external URL, which is an external website. That's exactly what it is. It's a different website. And that data can be taken from select field and say website. That is it. Okay, so there's an image, there's a heading, there's a description, there is a button as well. So what we've just done is change the tag to this. So let's change the tag and make the tag on top. Instead of text, let's call this tag, just repeating the same step that I did earlier. Call this category. Oops. And as you know, select the field and click on category. That's it. And if you don't even want a label because it's distracting, just delete it. Okay, amazing. Now, one thing that is looking a little off, and some of these websites actually categorize as multiple. So, for example, if you see Patagonia here, Patagonia is fabrics and home products. So they might have multiple categories and both of them will be displayed. Okay. So now the thing is, one thing that we're noticing is this looks much better because both of these are center aligned. This text is bigger and just overall UI is better. UI is user interface. We're going to change that a little bit. The way you do that on software is when you click on each of these properties, the same way that we were customizing a little bit earlier, it also has a little palette button next to it, right? That's what allows you to customize the style or the design. So go to image, click on styles. And now it's asking you, what should the size be? Should it be bigger? Should it be smaller? So it's a little bigger. If you increase the size here or decrease it. Background size, should it be cover? Should it be auto? Should it be contain? If you click on contain, then it's going to change it accordingly. Let me just close some of this stuff. Software has a way of eating up your RAM. I'm going to refresh this once. So if this happens to your computer, just refresh the app. Oh, before that, ideally you should publish it, but it's all right. Let's just refresh it. Software has a way of doing this. So don't worry too much if that happens to you. It's a good practice to keep publishing or keep saving your content though, so that it gets saved. It auto saves, of course, but it's a good practice to click on publish. So it says, hey, you have unpublished changes. We could change the name subdomain here to saying software something app and just click on publish. Okay, just a good practice, just so that you don't lose any change. Okay, great. Let's go back to just customizing some of this stuff. So we've already customized the images. Go down. We've already customized the picture. Next, let's customize the brand name. When you click on brand name, it's now going to give you a palette option. Again, that's how you change the design. Text size and color. Color is fine, this trademark green. I want the text to be larger, 2XL, that's good. Font family open sans is fine. Font weight, instead of semi-bold, I'm going to click on bold. It's really up to you. Just play around, see what you like. This is fine with me. This is good. Similarly, description, I think is good enough. It's fine. I'm going to leave it at that. After that, we have category, which is the tags. The issue with category and the content itself, the last one, palette. The issue is it's aligned towards the left. I'm going to align it towards the center. And it's automatically aligned towards the center in all of the rows. Similarly, we want to do the same thing with the visit site website button. Go to the palette again, align to the left. Instead of align to the left, make it align to the center. It's looking very similar to this now. Of course, the text is much bigger here. I'm actually happy with what this looks like, so I'm going to leave it at that. Okay, great. Again, keep publishing. Publish. Good idea to do that. After this, let's see what other customization options are there. It's also giving you an option to say, if this table was empty, like in an empty state, what message should be there? Initially, before we connected the database, you remember it was saying no results found, try adjusting your search. So again, if no search records come up here, this is the message that will come. This is fine with me, but you can customize it to say something else. Next, if you click on each of these cards, so for example, this is one card. Sorry, this whole thing here is one card. If you click on each of these cards, you can also redirect them to somewhere else. So for now, just like how we customize the button, instead of adding another button, we could have just said action, not open page. Open page means internal page. We don't want it to open an internal page. We want it to open an external URL. That URL could be found on the website column of our database. And ideally, you should open it in a new tab. Now you can publish it and we are done. So the best part about this is, even if you add 1,000 more rows to this database here, this will update without any hitches, right? This will update on its own. It will update automatically because software is continuously pulling data from Airtable every second. Great. This is awesome. What else do we need to do? As you remember, we have to change the headers here and we have to change the heading here. If you click on the hero section, it says this is the background image. Since it's already plants and stuff, I'm fine with it. I don't want to change it. The title, instead of employee directory, let's call it green brands, because that's what we're displaying. It's a list of green brands. You can also have a subtitle go here. It looks like this. Subtitle goes here if you want. You can also add a button if you want. It's really up to you, depending on what you're trying to do with your website. Now let's go and customize some of this stuff on the header. On the header, first of all, let's just customize the first header. Now you could just leave the sign up option, like you can completely delete the sign up option and delete the second header, because if you only have one visibility setting to say whether they're signed in or signed out, you'll only see one header, then that's the only header that will be displayed, and you can remove the sign up option altogether. But before we do that, let's change the header to have the right kind of logo. If you went here and right click this and saved it to downloads and you already have the logo, just click here. Again, it says update block. I have no idea why software doesn't automatically update the block, but ask you to do it yourself. I don't know why that does that. But once you do that, it's out of your way. You have to do it once per app. So let's just do that. Then it's saying, okay, on this header called home header 3, this is the logo, these are the links, these are the buttons, blah, blah, blah. So first, we're going to change the logo. We're going to click on this to change it. Then some of the assets that are already used in the template are given here. We're going to instead say upload asset. And then we're going to use the logo that we've just saved. Use asset. And now it has been changed to go green. You do the same thing with the second header also. Second header, again, update block, just so that you can get it out of the way. It's done. Click on change. You already have the asset. You don't have to upload it again. Use asset and it is done. Awesome. So now what you have to do, let me just show you how to make a website that actually requires people to sign in. Most of the workflows like sign in, then pop-up should open, ask them for their email and password, blah, blah, blah. All of that is taken care of by software. So what you have to do is you click on this header template. The thing is, when you actually click on plus, if you're building it on your own and you want a sign in button and everything, you can actually create a button. Just in this button section, create a button like add button, add whatever text you want, sign up, sign in, whatever. But in the action setting, you can open the right settings, right? So in this block, so when you click on add blocks, you can create a bunch of these things, including dynamic ones like form, where you can sign, where you can contact people, and under user accounts, you can have a sign up form. Now, similar to this, one of these sign up forms, we already have a section here in this template where it's asking you to log in. So now what's happening on this header is that if on the buttons that you're seeing here, it's saying this button, then you click on this sign in button. This action is it's scrolling to the section of this home page, which we're seeing here. And we are scrolling to a section called hashtag login. Hashtag is basically a section. It's called an anchor link. And you can see which one has an anchor link. Now, the first section is a header, and that anchor link is home header 3. This one has a header link of hashtag CTA3. And this section has a link of user accounts too, right? So that's how you figure out exactly where different anchor links are leading. Now here it's saying if I click on sign in, then it is linking me to home/login. So let's publish this, publish, open in a new tab, and then see what is happening when you click on sign in. When you click on sign in, nothing is really happening. It's just taking us to this. Nothing really is happening. So we'll have to change that in a minute. The other thing that is happening when you again open this app is that you can't see the table at all. We worked so hard on building this table. When we publish it, it is completely empty. Now, again, one other thing that is empty here is the second header. Remember, only the first header is visible here. The second header isn't visible. Why? Because there are visibility settings associated with the second header. Similarly, even this table must have some visibility settings. So in the beginning of the workshop, I was saying that you can toggle visibility settings based on certain parameters. Now, because you're signed out, it's showing a certain bunch of things. If you sign in here, it will basically allow you to see certain things. So instead of making it that way, what we can do is we can click on this table and say, I don't want too much confusion here. On the top right, this is called list 3. It also has an edit section, a code section, and an I, which is the visibility settings, where, as we correctly predicted, it's saying this visibility is limited to logged in users. So only if you're logged in can you see the template. What we can do is we can say all users. Now, if you click on non-logged in users, then if you sign in, it will become invisible. We don't want that to happen. What you wanted to happen is to say anyone, whether they're signed in or not signed in, should be able to see it. All users, publish updates. And now if you open it on a new page, you can see the table. Okay, it's as simple as that. It's just visibility settings, incredibly powerful if you know what you're doing. It works just like the header. Even this header, right now, the top header, if you go to visibility settings, it's saying non-logged in users only. So if you're logged in, then you won't be prompted to sign in. Obviously, you're already signed in. If you're signed in already, then you will see visibility settings. You will see department, submit, expenses, and all of that only for logged in users. Okay. The last bit of complication I want to show you is what should happen when people sign up, sign in, when they click on all of those buttons, what should happen? Now, because we already have a login form, when they click on sign in, let's just redirect them to this login form, to this section. This section is called user accounts too. So when they click on this button on the header, when they click on sign in here, scroll to section. So you could say it's not open page because it's on the same page, but it's on a different section. So not an open page, but scroll to section. On scroll to section, there's one called account settings. There's one called home, and under home, we have user accounts 2. User accounts 2 is the name of the section. Let's verify. When you click on this section, user accounts 2 is popping up. That's exactly what you want this to scroll to. So sign in, scroll to section. In the home page, user accounts 2. Now let's publish this. Open in a new tab. Now click on sign in. And now it has automatically scrolled us to this. The thing about this app is it already has given us some user names and passwords. So let's just paste this and this and see what happens when we sign in. Okay, we sign in, say the password if you want. Everything is the same except the top header has changed. Because when you're signed in, the visibility setting is don't show this. It's only shown to non-logged in users. And this one is only shown to logged in users, right? Now, on the last step, let's just go and modify the second header. Second header, when you're signed in, what do you see? You're seeing a link to departments. Let's just call it all brands list because we already have that page. What page should open? Let's open page and click on home. The home page should open. because that's the only page that you have here. If you have an about page where you're talking about why Go Green is so important, why sustainability is so important to the environment, create that about page and just click on open page about and change this to about instead of all brands list. Okay, that's one. The other thing is you have two buttons here. First of all, I'm going to go and delete one button. Let's have one button. Here, it's saying submit expenses and the text is submit expenses as well. And the action is opening the submit expenses page. So first I'm going to say submit brand details, which means if I'm signed in as a user, I can recommend certain green brands to the rest of the people by adding details to this table. So submit brand details, and the action right now is opening submit expenses page. First, I'm going to publish this. The last thing I need to do is on the left, you have all these options. See, pages, theme, users. On the pages list, let's go to submit expenses page because that actually exists as a form right now, and change some of this stuff. So when I click on submit brand details, I want this page to open and it should say submit brand details. Use this form to submit a green brand. Great. Any background image? If you want, you can add some. I don't want to. And form position bottom. This is fine with me. Now, the thing is, it's first asking you, where do you, so first of all, it's asking what data do you want to be captured on this form? Number one, all you need to do is just stick to this, right? Number one, we need brand name, description, picture, website, and category. So for any data to be visible properly on this table, we need image, name of the brand, description, category, and visit website link, right? So that's the data you want to capture. The first one shouldn't be an expense type. Let's just delete all of them. Let's just create it from scratch. Add a field, and you're gonna the type of the field is going to be single line text. Label is going to be brand name. That's the data that you want. And tag. So this is the link to where it's going to get saved. Okay. So next we're going to say, oops. Single line text, label is going to be brand name. Next is going to be long text, is going to be description. Some more like a picture. So file, picture is uploaded as a file. So the name is going to be Software has a weird way of adding stuff on the top instead of the bottom. So you're going to click and drag it on the bottom. I'm going to save some time and just do this quickly. Type should be a file because it's an image. Label should be image of the brand, and so on. Now, after you're done submitting these details, after you're done typing out these details and selecting the image, the button text should be submit brand. What should this submit button do? Okay, that's a good question. For now, you could probably send it to MailChimp, MailerLite, Zapier, depending on maybe it's an email subscription form. Right now, it is not an email subscription form. It's simply data of the Airtable base that you already have columns for. So all you wanted to do is send it to Airtable. In the base, you can just click on the same base because you are fine with this data being added to the same base being displayed on the same column. If you want to approve these database points so for example, you've created the app and I'm suggesting a brand that can be added. You can create a new table with the same similar kind of columns and send the data there. And then once you're happy about it and you're saying, yeah, this customer is right, this brand should be added, you can then copy paste it into this column. So into this table. You don't have to use the same table. You can always add another table here and then link it there. For now, I'm fine with sending it to Airtable to the Go Green app for software and the same table that we're using, which is table number 1. All right. So after they're done, after they click on this button, what should happen? You can click on show message saying, thank you for suggesting a brand. Okay. So that's what's going to happen when they click on submit brand. So see that last text that's saying thank you for suggesting a brand. It only opens when the submit button is clicked. Publish, publish, it's all done. So now what happens is when you open the website, first of all, let's just sign out. So this opens up. This is the app that opens up for you. This is all the amazing brands that you're requesting. When you click on any of the cards, it actually redirects to the website so that people can shop from there. Then if you click on sign in, it redirects to this sign in page where you could just copy paste some of this stuff, sign in. When you sign in, what is changing is the top header is changing. You click on all brands list, it's the same page, so nothing happens, it just gets refreshed. You click on submit brand details, it opens this form to submit brand details. Like I said, software has a very weird way of adding stuff on the top. So brand name should come on the top and description should come on the bottom. So I'm going to click on publish and refresh this, and now it's going to get refreshed. Okay, great. So when you click on submit brand, of course, you have not submitted anything. You say brand test, click on any image. For now, we could just click on the same Go Green logo that we have. Submit everything and it's uploading. Let's give it a minute. Let's give it a minute. The last thing I wanted to cover today is on the left, something that we have not covered yet is pages. We've just touched it where I told you that there are so many pages here that come on so when you duplicate a template, this is what is coming with the template. You can always click on the 3 dots here and settings, and then you can go on general and delete if you don't want these pages. You want to change the name of the page, change the slug. What's a slug? On this page, see you have something dot software app dot app / expenses. That is the slug. So this shouldn't be expenses, right? So when you go back and click on submit expenses, 3 dots, settings, general, submit, not expenses, submit brand. Then you can, instead of expenses, you could just say submit dash brand. Now, if you save it and publish it, go to the home page and submit brand details. It's saying 404 not found. Why? Because this header where it says submit brand details. Let's go back to home page in order to edit the header. Home page. Header 2 when you're signed in. What's happening when you click on submit brand details? The page that is being opened is submit expenses. So what we have to do is open page, go down, click on submit brand instead. Now, if you publish it, it will work. Go back, go green, submit brand details. And now the slug has also changed to submit brand. Okay, great. So any changes that you want to make according to the pages. So home page, 3 dots, settings, you can change general, which is URL and everything. You can change the SEO, which is the title of the page and description. So if you're going to share this app on Twitter tomorrow, for example, when you're sharing it with the world saying, hey, I built this during NoCode weekend, this is the title, that little card that will open as a preview of the URL. That's exactly what you're changing here. So title, description, and social settings, which is social media title on Twitter. So if you don't add anything here, it will take it from here. But if you add something here, it will take it from here. So page title will be used if it's empty. You can add something here, description here, and an image. So if you don't add any image, if you share this link, it will be blank and ugly. So you can upload an image. Maybe it's just the logo. Maybe it's as simple as the Go Green logo that we have right now, right? It's as simple as that. And visibility, you can change the visibility settings of the entire page. So maybe an entire page should only be visible to a logged in user. So far, we've been toggling visibility settings of separate blocks within a page, saying on this page, show this if they're signed in, don't show this if they're not signed in, right? If the entire page should or should not be visible to someone, you can toggle it here. Then finally, if you want to add some custom code and stuff like that, you can do it here. I don't want to do that, so I'm just going to click on save and publish. And it's all done. Okay, finally, some of the other stuff that you can think about is if you are not happy with the template, you want to change the green. So as you can see, all this green, this pale green that we're seeing here is coming from here. That is the heading color. You can change it here, like overall. So it's called global settings. You can change all of them in one place. Heading font can be changed in one place. Weight can be changed in one place. If you want to change it for specific instances, you can click on this small palette button that we did earlier. If you want to change it site-wide overall, you can start here. So even before you start customizing the entire website, you can start with this. Okay. All of this can be changed in theme. Users, when people sign up as a user, you can see. So these are by default software gives you because you can sign up by them and sign up with these details and see how the website looks if you're testing it. But as people sign up using that sign up form that we have on the website, this will keep getting populated. If you actually connect it to our Airtable base, you can actually edit this connection and say, on this Airtable base, I want this to be connected to the users table. So I already created a users table, remember? This can be connected. And the email field has to be created because that is the user ID of the person who will be logging in. So email field is the main column. So we're going to map it to that. And you're going to click on save. That's all. So that's users. And finally, the general settings of the site, like the name of the app, the subdomain of the app, the favicon. Favicon is the on the top. Right now you're seeing Software Studio. That's the title of your site. On the left, you have this little blue color logo. That's the favicon. You can change that as well. That's the image, as you can see. That's what it's saying. It's this blue color thing is a favicon. If you pay money to software, you can remove the software brand. So that's it. That's all I wanted to share today. You have any questions, you can always view this recording later. This has been recorded and all the information that you need to build this website have been given here. All the templates, all the logos, everything are there. Canva templates are also there for you. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us on Twitter, or if you go back on the support room channel, so that the main Notion page that we have has a support room link. You can click on that for troubleshooting him. The other thing I wanted to bring your attention to is if you scroll down to the end, I've also given you a 1-hour tutorial to build a Glide app. Now, Glide apps are far more easier than software apps. So if you feel like this is a little too overwhelming, check out this video and learn how to build a simple Glide app. Hope this has been useful. Please feel free to unmute yourself to ask any questions. Great to hear that, Anukriti. Thank you for joining us, and I'm really excited to see your project. Please feel free to hop off and start building. So of course, the only goal here is to get a good enough idea. You can see that the build is not very complicated. You can master it over and over. If you launch 4 to 5 projects, you will become a software master, even if you are an absolute beginner today, right now. All you have to do is figure out data that makes sense for this. For ideas, just search on Twitter or go to our Circle Communities club.nocodeweekend.co. If you go to club.nocodeweekend.co, of course, it will prompt you to sign up if you're already not a member. But if you're already a member, then there is an ideas channel on the left that gives you a bunch of ideas on what you can build. And some of that can be inspiring. The other place you can get ideas from are from our partner, Fueler. Fueler.io is a website that allows you to create it gives you a platform to display all of your work proudly. In this, they have a free ideas section where they have some ideas. If you click on the development section, you have ideas on what you can build. So for example, see a website that shows a list of beginner-friendly open source projects, collection of resources to study, stock investment. So some of these ideas are there if you're interested. So those are the two places you can go to ideas for. Can we create apps like Book My Show with Glide or Softer? So you can create marketplaces with Glide. It might be a little more complicated to set it up, but yes, you can definitely do it. If you want true complexity and true customization, the best place to do it is on Bubble, but Bubble has a slight learning curve. Best place is to start with Softer or Glide and then move forward on your building journey, then go to Bubble. So that is my answer to you. Hope everything is clear. This is the link that has been shared with you. I'm going to share this link one more time on the chat. For those of you who might want to bookmark it. And then other things that I want you to know is in the same worksheet, there is a post-workshop section where you have a few ideas on where you can build these things from. Landing pages, card is great, Doric, Type Dream, all of these are great to build landing pages. Marketplaces like Book My Show, anything that has a seller and a buyer, Softer, Webflow, Glide, everything is really great. Community membership portal. So if you want to create a community, Circle and Softer are great for both of those. If you want to create dashboards, then Bubble, Glide, Softer. So just wanted to give you a sense of what you can start with today. And that's about it from my end. I'm going to stop the screen share. I'm going to just share my screen one last time with in the meantime, if you have any questions, I'm here to help. Please unmute yourself and let me know. Okay, no more questions. Let me just share my screen and show you the Notion sheet that I was talking to you about. All of your single source of truth for today's event is right here. Upcoming sessions will be posted here. And all the recordings will be posted right here. Okay. Okay, I will see you on the other side. Happy building. And as always, let us know if you have any questions. Here's the link to the support room under the questions section. Join the support room and meet us. See you. Bye-bye.